Golden State Warriors lose again to the Oklahoma City Thunder, 126-102. Their record on the road now this season is 1-6. Not good at all heading into 5 more games on the road on this road trip. You're watching Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Tyler Smith, and on today's show, I think we have come to a realization with the Golden State Warriors, if some of Dub Nation has not already. The Golden State Warriors do not have enough talent. It's unfortunate that that is the case, but against an Oklahoma City team where, yes, you were missing Al Horford. It was the first night of a back-to-back. The Warriors pick and choose which matchups he plays in those situations. But the Thunder were losing, or they were missing not only their second best player in Jalen Williams, their maybe sixth best player in Lou Dort, maybe their seventh best player in Aaron Wiggins. 3 of the top 8 most impactful players, including an All-NBA guy in J-Dub, missing for the Thunder here, and they go out and drop 126 on you and essentially win this game by 35. I mean, even a 24-point loss makes it look way closer than this game actually was. The Thunder were up 23 at half. They were up 35 when the Golden State waved the white towel, and then the classic Pat Spencer group came in there and gave it their burst of energy. But this game was a 30-point blowout. It's because the Warriors couldn't hit shots. Steph isn't all the way back yet from his illness. Clearly his legs were not underneath him tonight. But it was the turnovers. The Warriors cannot dribble against a team like this. They do not have enough ball handling. They do not have enough pressure around the rim. They do not have enough strength and polish in the front court. That's a deficiency of this team that we knew last year. We knew the year before that. At the end of the day, the Golden State Warriors played against a team that they should be trying to be tonight. They cannot be that team because they don't have the talent. They just don't. Yeah, we talk about this Golden State team having all the depth in the world, but if the play, you can have a lot of guys who you think you can play, but at the end of the day, if they can't against some of the best competition in the league, then you're not going to be a championship contender. We'll talk more about really who Golden State puts out there on the basketball court that just doesn't deserve to be on an NBA floor in just a moment. But first, I got to ask you, what's your concern level with the Golden State Warriors this season? Scale it for me in the comments section. 1 being you're not concerned. OKC had a crazy shooting night. They absolutely did. So that is comment 1 if you're not concerned at all. But comment 100 if you're smashing the panic button right now and you don't think this Golden State Warriors team is good enough to contend. Because if there are certain players out there on the floor for Golden State, yeah, they cannot contend. I know they sat Al Horford on the first leg of the back-to-back tonight. But I'm here to tell you right now, Trayce Jackson-Davis is not an NBA player, guys. I'm sorry. For the TJD fans out there, he showed flashes his rookie season. He balled out in the Summer League when he was in there for his 3rd time. But this guy can't play ball. 6 turnovers. He had 4 fouls, by the way, too. 6 turnovers. Trayce Jackson-Davis shouldn't sniff a minutes load that nets 3 turnovers, gives him a chance to turn the ball over 3 times, let alone 6. I cannot believe how big a loss Kevon Looney looks like right now. I cannot believe how big a loss that Looney looks like when Trayce Jackson-Davis has to go out there and play ball because Al Horford is 40 years old and he can't play on the first night of back-to-backs. These aren't straight Tony Snell numbers. He didn't play in this game. And it's especially frustrating when the guy who you're trusting to be your starting center, Quinten Post, isn't going out there and doing what he's capable of. 2 for 6 in this one. 2 for 6 from 3. So you have a starting center in Quinten Post that does really nothing offensively around the rim. He could really only score from the perimeter. A very weak defender in isolation specifically. He's getting better on the interior, but NBA teams are smart now. You think OKC didn't see Quinten Post and say, oh, yeah, I cannot wait to bring this guy ISO back outside the three-point line. Of course they were just waiting, licking their chops to get Quinten Post in a switch, and they got it multiple times in this game. So Golden State's offseason consisted of losing Kevon Looney, putting faith in Quinten Post, and then eventually bringing in Al Horford. Well, Al Horford, the Warriors have had 4 back-to-backs already. There's 4 games automatically missed for Big Al. Quinten Post doesn't provide what you really need from a starting center in this league. So against a team like OKC that employs Chet Holmgren, who absolutely dominated you in this game. Yeah, let me see what Chet actually ended up doing. Chet ended up going there for 23, 11 rebounds, 9 of 9 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3. And they also have Isaiah Hartenstein on the roster, who just puts up a casual 8 and 7, but he was effective all night long. He was grabbing offensive rebounds all night long, creating second chance opportunities for the Thunder. I mean, this team just is not good enough, and it really starts in the front court. Obviously, we'll talk about guys who need to play a little bit more for the Golden State Warriors. I won't lie, like Steve Kerr is a little bit to blame for this. The rotations are pretty inconsistent, and that's not going to allow for great consistency and chemistry and progression as the season goes along. He's really got to figure out what this rotation looks like and the lineups that work versus the lineups that don't. But I don't think that this team has enough talent at the end of the day. That does not mean that we're going to stop covering this Golden State Warriors team. That's why you subscribed to the channel. We are just past the 100,000 subscribers. The plaque from YouTube is on the way. We're going to talk more about this game, more about some performances that we saw that I want to see more of, because clearly there's guys on this team that I do not want to see anymore. We didn't even get to talk about them all just yet. We'll get to that around the corner. First, though, I got to give a huge shout out to our friends and sponsors on tonight's program, and that, of course, is our friends over at Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports platform. You and I make decisions every single day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. It can get you up to 2,000 times your money this basketball season. Watching your Golden State Warriors is the best daily fantasy sports app in the game, because all you do is pick more or less than 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you watch the winnings roll in. Prize Picks separates themselves, though, because we know a lot of other places offer those things. They have the best features in the game, the ones that others don't offer, like stacks. Yes, if you want to have multiple stat projections from the same player in the same lineup, you can do so only on Prize Picks. It's also becoming a social event as well, where you can follow your favorite creators and copy their lineups into your own using the brand new feed tab. You can copy even my picks for this game. Well, actually not this game, but future games when we're live on the channel. We'll be live again on Wednesday. I had a couple of college basketball players to have more than points. I had Kevin Miller. He hit. JT Toppin, more than points, rebounds, and assists. That one hit as well. And Chet Holmgren, obviously, we saw had more than 17.5 points, but because the Warriors got blown out by 30, two of their stars, Draymond and Jimmy, could not cash their Prize Picks squares. You can tell my picks or fade them at Prize Picks, though. Just do it at that app. Download the app today and use the code CLNS to get $50 instantly in lineups after you play your first $5. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right, and all that information is clickable down in the comment section and description of today's video. Alrighty, man. Clearly, Steph's not all the way back. Steph's not all the way healthy. Can you blame him? No. Steph picked up his first flagrant foul of his career in this game, which I thought was interesting. This is one of those things where you could tell nothing's going right for Golden State here. So Steph's got to get back into game shape here. He's dealing with some a cold, a mystery illness of some sort, and just clearly he's not in good enough shape to be competing with an OKC Thunder team like this. Hopefully tomorrow against San Antonio, as he got some extended rest in the second half of this game where the starters didn't have to play. Hopefully he's ready to go for that one. But let's talk about some more guys who I just don't want to see on this Warriors team very often anymore. I don't want to see much GP2. I just don't want to see it. Did he play all that badly today? No. But you're not a serious basketball team if you're playing GP2 big minutes. I wholeheartedly believe that. You guys could blame me in the comments if you think I'm wrong, but that's just where I'm at this point. I'm not going to say I don't want to see Jonathan Kuminga, but I want to see better out of JK. 5 turnovers in this game. Some of them he was just handing the ball away. The Kuminga that we saw in the first week of the season is not really there right now. Now, he shot pretty efficiently today compared to the last 2 games that he's played, where he combined for 11 points over those 2 contests. But what was it good for when you lose by 24? And I'm not blaming this loss on Kuminga. I probably would blame him more on Jimmy Butler if I'm playing the blame game. Like, 3 shot attempts? Are you kidding me? He got to the free throw line a little bit, but come on, man. Show a little bit of aggression. Like, you're getting paid $55 million. I'm not saying that you're incapable of going out there and putting up 25, because we've seen it a million times before. How about you go out there and do it when they need you? You're going out and playing one of the best teams in the league. You're one of the only true shot creators on the roster, or at least capable shot creators. You don't really want to a lot of the time, but please, man, go be a little bit aggressive 3 shot attempts is unacceptable from Jimmy Butler in a game of this magnitude. Buddy Hield, I don't want to see. I just don't want to see him. He can't shoot, can't defend, turns the ball over. What the hell are you doing on the basketball court? I'll tell you what, the Warriors need DeAnthony Melton back bad. 20 turnovers in this game, and yes, for those of you who come at me in the comment section and say, the Thunder had 19 turnovers, they can make up for it when they hit half their threes. The Warriors badly need DeAnthony Melton back just for another capable ball handler, because guess what? Pods ain't cutting it either, all right? I know Pods didn't turn the ball over tonight, but has this guy gotten any better? Has he gotten any better from last season? It's the same player to me. I don't know. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm just rolling through the players in this roster, man, and they're just not better than what OKC has. Let's look at what OKC has at the top of their lineup. SGA, boom, MVP candidate. Not going to ask for Golden State to add a guy like that. But, you know, there you go. Chet Holmgren, another guy who I can't ask Golden State to go out there and acquire. But what about the guys in between? What about the Cason Wallaces of the world who didn't put up a gaudy stat line but absolutely made an impact in this game? What about an Ajay Mitchell who just goes out there and balls? Like another guy picked up off the Foot Locker back room, and he's just balling. That's no shade to Ajay Mitchell. He was actually a baller at UC Santa Barbara. He could play, man, and he's just another guy who they hit on in the draft. Alex Caruso. Warriors could add him for Kuminga. They said no. Isaiah Joe went for 18 in this game. Isaiah Joe would be, I think, the 5th best player on the Warriors. I seriously believe it. Curry, Kuminga, Butler, Draymond. I think it's undoubtedly that Isaiah Joe would be the 5th best player on the Warriors. Maybe him and Moses Moody are along that same level, but it's insanity that's the case. I mean, guys, they got Ousmane Dieng playing minutes for you. Like, and he was cooking. You don't have enough talent. You just don't have enough talent. It's unfortunate. There are levels to this. You just got blown out by Denver by 25, and now you get blown out by OKC by 25. Can you compete with these guys? I'm not so sure. And I know the Warriors know that if Steph's not out there carrying, then they probably cannot go out there and win a lot of these games. It's sad reality, but it's just where we are right now. What do you guys think? Are the Warriors a playoff team? I know we're 12 games into the season. They're 6-6. Like, things could be corrected, but I'm close to hitting the panic button at this point. Are you hitting the panic button? Let me know in the comments section, as that will do it for today's show. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, youtube.com/WarriorsTV for the latest and greatest on your Dubs all season long. We're going to have a watch party later tonight, so tune in for that, and we'll see you guys all then. As always, let's go Dubs.